Hi, I'm Old Sneelock. Welcome to another episode of Old Sneelock's Workshop. I've got a Black & Decker grinder that has a bad cord on it. I'm going to take some time and repair the cord and shorten it up so that I don't have that long cord to get caught on everything and I don't have to wind it up. Also, that makes it so that one extension cord can feed multiple tools, and I have one extension cord that gets damaged, and if it gets too bad, I throw it out and get another one. I don't have to go through and replace the cords on all the pieces of equipment. You get what you pay for. By setting this down like so, I can I can push in on the pin, and then the body acts as the wrench handle to hold the arbor in place. Angle around where I can get to it a little better. There we go. You really don't want to tighten up these grinding wheels that tight. The mistake I see people doing is they'll put the wheel on and they'll spin this down, but they won't spin it tight. Then they'll just start the grinder, and the grinder will get the blade spinning, the wheel spinning. It'll catch a hold of that nut and it'll come around and slam in there and tighten up so tight you can barely get it off. Sometimes you can't get it off. Then you have to break things. But the worst part is when they do that, this little thin metal plate here, it's only just a washer. And if you tighten this too tight, you break this. And when you break that part of the wheel and you fire it off, it flies apart. So don't leave the nut loose. Take it up finger tight. You don't have to really use a wrench on it. Just take it up tight with your fingers and make sure that it doesn't have enough room to get moving. So once you do that, you'll be good. Okay, now we're going to take the body apart so I can replace this cord. And I should be able to just remove 1, 2, 3, 4 screws. And that should take off the section that holds the brushes and the cord. Now I have a new cord that I'm going to put on this thing. And I do have the option of saying, well, you know, this much of the cord appears to be okay. But about time I do that, I'm going to end up with this. Somewhere along in here it's going to, oh, there it goes. Boom. It's no good. Now I'm going to waste my time. I like the ultrasonic cleaner. It's kind of like having a washing machine for parts, because you just turn it on and leave it set. Always happy to let things work for me. Now loosen this up. There we go. Now I can lay this on its side and get to those screws easily. Yep, that's the one. Getting ahead of myself. Problem I run into is I lose things, especially if I'm working on multiple projects. A few days ago, I was looking for my test cord. I said, I can't find it. So I went on and did something else and made a test cord. Well, guess what I found? Yep, there's the test cord. Right there. It was underneath the towel. When I put away the last job, I didn't hang this correctly. So it was hidden under the towel. Now I hung it on the hook where it's supposed to be, and odds of finding it again are much better. So, get our parts laid out in a reasonable fashion so that they're easily identifiable and close to hand. Now I can take these screws out. Prep work. One of my main weak points. I'm always trying to do something fast, which means I want to do it with the minimum amount of effort, minimum amount of time spent. That usually backfires on me. When I do that, I may save a few seconds here and there on the initial part of the project. Then when I go back to do the assembly, something's missing. Or I can't find one of the tools because I didn't put it away correctly. Or I don't know exactly how it goes back together again because I didn't properly document how things went. That's originally why I started using a camera. It wasn't to make videos for YouTube because YouTube was a glint in somebody's eye. Hadn't happened yet. Okay, got those screws out. Now I need to separate this thing so that I can, there we go. Reach in there and take that apart. Now I only want to take off one side because now I can look in there and see things and go, oh, that's what it is. Now see, if I just started chopping on things, I would have said, well, okay, I can get along without this. I can get. Nope, I got to be careful because this thing has got special little bits and pieces on it. That's not a standard wire. It's got a special fitting on the end of it. This locking mechanism goes in just like that, with the hollow part facing down. And that comes off, goes over here, out of the way. Ultrasonic decided it was done. Better run one more cycle through and then I'll shut the camera down and go take care of those parts. Seeing as how I've only got one guy working in the shop, no apprentices. I'm kind of stuck. There. Now, black wire goes up here on the side with the label. This one has all the information on the amperage and voltage. And the black wire goes on that right there. I want to make sure I got that correct. This can stay right on there. I won't take that off unless I absolutely have to. Now, pull this one off of there. Now, this is a special little doohickey for gripping a hold of that wire. I wonder if I have any in the drawer. I'll have to take a look. Now, I'm only going to put a short cord on this because this cord gets damaged. I'm going to just toss it and put a new one on there. If the long cord gets damaged, then I'll try and fix it and I'll end up with this ugly mess in the middle of the thing and it'll always look bad. Never work right. Clip off the end of the cord. This cord, once I get the wrench off of it, goes in the trash. And just the idea of it, I don't like these little tiny steel wrenches, especially if I'm pulling on something that's kind of hard to get off, like getting the wheel off of this arbor, because chances are it's going to slip. I'm going to either hook my finger into something and be really angry, or it's going to grab a hold of my hand and not want to let go, make it hurt. And having it hurt is not anywhere near part of the plan. Okay, on this one, we only gave it just a little bit of wire there. And the new wire fits right in there just like it was supposed to. See if we can get this thing working. I'll cut this here. There we go. That's got that pinch. I need to come up with a better way of crimping wires on these terminals like this. There. Solid. To make the connections, this black wire goes on this side and the white wire goes on this side. There. There. I got the black wire in where it goes and the white wire in where it goes. I put this lock in. See if I can hold this together. I have to crimp that wire using the two sides of this housing like a vise, so it'll grip the wire inside the housing. There. It does not want to cooperate, but it's because you can see how the end of this wire is flattened out. That's what this housing is doing. It's taking and holding that round wire and pushing it out into a flat shape it didn't want to assume. But it's definitely going to grip the wires tightly. As long as it doesn't cut them in half, I think I'll be all set. Okay, the lock works and the release works. Finish tightening these screws up. Now, take this nut off and I'll give it a shot. There we go. Now we're doing it. I like to have the angle about like that because I'm right-handed. Depending on what I'm doing, I may move that around. But typically, I'm going to have it at an angle about like that. Because I want to be able to grind and have the sparks go inside the shell and not fly all over the place. I do like that this has a top spot for the handle. When you're using it as a cutoff wheel, it lets me hold it like this and set this down and use that to rock forward so that I can guide the wheel across the steel. Yep, that's pretty nice. I suppose I could put the wrench back on this, but I'd rather not have it tied to the cord. There. Nice and snug. Well, that job's done. If you have any suggestions for a new video, questions about today's video, or any of the other videos on the channel, just drop a note in the comments. You know I read them all. Thanks for watching.
This video is not to be viewed by anyone under the age of 13 in the U.S. or 16 in the European Union without the express written permission of the parents or the legal guardians of the underage person. Such written permission must be on file at the local government entity in charge of enforcing the rules and regulations established by the FTC. Anyone violating these terms is admitting by default that they hold harmless the owners and operators of this channel. Any and all questions should be addressed to your local branch of the FTC.